Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. I really hate the way people lie and misrepresent things in the media. For years, I've been hearing about this notorious Red Table Talk interview between Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, and how she said she cheated and he wasn't satisfying and that she was just brutal and broke his heart and he was just crying and all this stuff. And I'm like, God, I should watch that sometime, but I just didn't want to because I'm like, I don't want to see that. I finally watched it today and none of that happened. All these people were lying about this interview and what it was. Basically, they were separated and she had an entanglement with a family friend, someone they both knew, and she worked through a lot of issues that she had because she wasn't happy with herself. She needed to fix some things about herself and she was running around trying to fix other people, and that's what that relationship with this guy was. He had a lot of problems, health problems and other problems, and she was trying to fix him because that was what she kept doing, was trying to fix people because she had to fix herself but didn't want to. And she basically worked out a lot of her issues and they got back together, and it wasn't an affair. It had nothing to do with Will and his all these people saying how he couldn't satisfy her and all this stuff. She never said any of that. She was talking to Gwyneth Paltrow another time about expecting your partner to be a mind reader and not telling them what you want sexually. That's not saying I'm not satisfied. That's saying I'm not communicating what I want. And that's a problem. And I understand I've had that problem myself in relationships where I didn't ask what I wanted for, so I didn't get it. It's really that simple. It has nothing to do with the other person not satisfying you. So I'm just, and I'm looking at all these videos where people are just making up their own stories and either showing some video clips of Will and Jada talking and then telling a whole other story and somehow pulling that from the interview, or just making up their own stories and I just really find it shocking that people just lie. Now, to speculate about something you don't know or something that isn't in the press, that hasn't been released, like I do a lot of speculating about some of the politics around Star Trek, but none of that is proven. None of that is, this is all what people are doing behind, closed doors in production. And that's one thing, but to come out and talk about people's lives where they've actually stated what happened. Will Smith wrote an autobiography called Will, where he covers it all. And people are still making up their version of their lives because people watch, and it's all about them just creating a narrative that they can sell to listeners. And it's just really warped. And I'm like, really? I can't believe these people lie. And people like me who don't walk around assuming people are lying to them all the time actually assumed, oh, that happened. And I thought there was this big horrible interview where Jada basically said, yeah, I had an affair. You didn't satisfy me and I had to go find someone else. Well, that was what people are saying. And all these people saying, oh, Will Smith is a cuck and all this stuff, and that they have an open relationship and she sleeps with other people and he doesn't get to, or he's not interested in that sort of relationship. She's putting it on him. None of that's true. They don't have an open marriage. They have some sort of understanding that they're going to have relationships with other people, emotional or friendship. I didn't hear them say sexual in any of the interviews I've seen yet, but and he said with Oprah that they're not really sleeping with anyone. They've got other, I don't want to say entanglements because that's sort of code for a relationship, because she had a relationship and she said entanglement, but yeah. So it's about their splitting up. Their separation was she wasn't happy. He couldn't make her happy because she wasn't happy in herself. Basically, go off and make yourself happy, work out what you need. I'm going to go off and work out what I need to make myself happy. They sorted themselves out and came back and realised how strong their love was and how much that they realised that they can get through anything, that there actually is unconditional love and there is till death do us part, and they know no matter how bad it gets, they are going to stay together. And I think that's pretty amazing. And even if it's fake and this is just stuff they're saying for the media, it's still not what people are saying they said. And I'm just so disappointed that I believed these little stories and just assume that there was an interview that supported this, because if you lie about a story and say, oh yeah, there's this interview where she says all this, obviously when someone like me goes and watches that interview, they're going to go, that person lied about everything. I just don't understand lying about things that are in the public sphere that you can just Google and find out for yourself. Now, lying about things that aren't, that's a whole other thing. I can understand that, because you might be able to actually get away with it, or you don't actually know the truth, so you just have your own version because you've sort of worked it out in your own head and there is no other version. It's just really weird. So I'm just really disappointed in all these people who've lied. I'm kind of not shocked about all the all the usual suspects that sort of are in my sort of subscriptions, like Mr. H, Cuck. Who else was going on and on and on about him being a cuck? Was it just Cuck and Mr. H? No, Midnight H. Everyone, all those people, all those right-wing geeks and gamers, Fandom menace guys, they're all talking about this, which is really not their subject. It's really not genre. It's not science fiction or fantasy or anything they normally talk about. It's not really in the geek sphere. But yeah, they're just going on about it, and it's just sad. They're all going on about how he's a cuck, and that's the other one, Hill versus Babyface. They're all going on about he's a cuck and his wife bangs other guys, and that's why he blew up, because she's demasculated him and all this stuff, and none of it's true. I don't know if they're lying or if they're actually listening to the other interviews where other people are lying and thinking that's the truth. And why does no one just watch the actual interview between the two of them? Why would you listen to people talk for 10, 20, 30 minutes about an interview instead of just watching the interview? And if you've watched the interview, you know the other people are lying, so how can you stomach it? It just baffles me. So I need some YouTube therapy to talk about this for a few minutes, because I just was looking at that and I'm like, that's not what that was presented as. They didn't say anything that was reported. People are just making up their own version of this conversation and selling it to the public. And I'm like, wow, am I that naive that I think people wouldn't just lie blatantly, obviously like that? But they do. So yeah, Will's got no excuse now for smacking Chris. Jada can take care of herself. He didn't need to get up there and defend her honour. There was a video of her laughing, because I think at first she thought it was a bit, and I think Chris thought it was going to be a bit, and I think he was in shock. I think he was thinking, did he mean to hit me? Did he realise he hit me? Was that just a joke? What was that? And then when he started yelling, he realised, wow, he hit me on purpose. He actually came at me, and if I say the wrong thing, he's going to come back. And so I'm just really annoyed at all these people. I've heard so many people lie about this interview and this situation and their marriage and everything, and I just can't believe you people just lie about stuff. I've got someone in my comments who comes up all the time who accuses me of lying about everything he disagrees with, he sees as a lie. And there's a huge difference between having an opinion or telling like how you see something, and literally lying and saying someone said words they didn't say, or explained a situation that they didn't. It's just, I just don't understand. Why lie? I mean, yeah, I get on one level, yeah, you get people watching, people who are gullible, people, I guess, I don't know, do people want to be lied to, or do they really believe this? Do they just go find the narrative they want and just follow that regardless of how ridiculous it is? Or do they actually believe these people? Because, I don't know, I'm just so annoyed at the media right now. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being misled. I feel bad that for the last few years I've believed that they were in an open relationship, that she was exploiting and he was unhappy, and she was basically ruining his life and he was miserable. And all this talk about he looked like he was crying. He wasn't crying. His eyes were a bit puffy, but he'd been looking like that for a while. That's just, I don't know what that is. It's something to do with health. But it wasn't because he was crying before the interview or anything, unless he was crying before all the other interviews that I saw him looking exactly the same, which it's just so ridiculous. But I'm heading on 10 minutes, so I better stop talking. But I needed some YouTube therapy. I needed to just get that out because it annoyed me so much. I finally Googled the video. I sat down and watched it. And it wasn't what anyone said. I just wanted to see exactly what they said and get like the quotes and work out exactly what he and she said, to realise that they didn't say any of it, that situation didn't exist. They didn't even, they just agreed to just separate and go do their own thing, and her thing included this guy. I don't know what Will did in that time. Like, she said that he got back at her, but or whatever, but they didn't go into any of that, so I have no idea what that was. But I'm just sick of people lying. People just tell the truth. Just life is far more interesting than fiction, no matter what you do. So just go with that. I'm going to go though. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Oh, and also Will Smith resigned from the Academy, which means he will no longer be able to be involved in all the Academy stuff. But I think he can still get nominated. I don't know. No one's really sure what that means. But I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.